Hi guys, it's Wendy with H2O Bungalow. I'm here today to share with you how to paint a bench with a HomeRite Finish Max sprayer. This was one of the first pieces of furniture I ever built. It's a little wonky in the way I put it together, but I'm attached to it. I'll be hand painting a design on the back when I'm done, and it'll be a great addition to my coastal home and my front porch. The first thing I did was give the bench a good cleaning with a painter's rag and simple green. Be sure to get all the crooks, nooks, and crannies and the back as well. I used the large paint shelter from HomeRite for this project. It protects my project from outside wind and getting anything on it, and it also protects my house and everything around it from overspray. Start by painting the back and underside of your bench first. Painting with the Finish Max works best if you use long sweeping motions from side to side. Most of the time I use 2 coats of paint for a paint project, giving it an hour or so to dry in between. My bench is now dry. I've let it sit overnight, and today we're going to go ahead and paint the whale sign onto the back of my bench. Here are the supplies that I'm going to be using today. I have 3 colors of paint in a flat. The other supplies that I'll use is painter's tape and graphite paper to put the transfer onto the back of my bench. And I like to use a red pen to transfer or outline my graphic, so it's easier to see where I've already traced and where I haven't, which is really good for intricate designs. I'll use a set of artist's brushes, pretty inexpensive to find. You'll be able to find all of the links to all of the products I use in my blog post too, so don't forget to go to h2obungalow.com, and I'll share my graphic, which you can download for free, and links to all the products I used. You'll use a measuring tape and mark the center of your bench. And then you'll mark up to the top. So you'll then mark the center of your sign. Now that I've marked the center of the bench and I've lined up the center of my graphic that I'm going to be placing on here, I've taped it up with painter's tape. I'm going to put graphite paper underneath so I can trace my design. If your graphite paper is new, it might not come in lots of little pieces, but I use mine all of the time. So I kind of have to piece it together. Ooh, a nice new piece. Wow. Okay, that's great. Don't rub hard on your graphite paper because the graphite on here will transfer over to your painting, or actually it'll transfer onto your bench and just leave it kind of smudgy. So you want to handle it very carefully. Okay. You do want to make sure that all of your graphite paper is completely underneath the design that you're going to transfer over. One tip I like to share for tracing graphics is to use a red pen and stay just inside the outer line. That way, when you're painting, you'll paint over your trace line, and that will be the outer edge of your design. And it will make your it'll make your design be the same shape as what you're tracing, and so you won't have to make your letters fatter or bigger, and you'll get the same look as what you are copying. Okay, so I just wanted to mention this because you might run into this when enlarging your artwork to put onto a bench or sign, is I use block posters to enlarge my artwork, and it's a free product, but it often will put its logo right over top of your artwork. So you can still see your artwork or the graphics that you have, you just need to look closely and carefully. You can find more details on how to find block posters and other tips that I'm sharing here on the blog post, so don't forget to look for h2obungalow.com and search whale bench. Let's take a peek and see how my design came through. Okay, that's great. There's going to be, I see a few smudges and spots from the graphite paper, and I'm not going to worry about that because I can go back later with the paint that I used for the bench and touch up any mistakes I made. When you're painting, all you need is a tiny bit of paint on the very end of your paintbrush to outline your letters, and you're going to stay right on the line that you drew. I'm going to start in the middle of my whale with the areas that I'm not going to be painting blue and outline those first. When you've moved into outlining the bigger parts of your whale, you can change to a wider paintbrush that gives you good clean edges, and the same thing applies. Just don't overload your brush. Just dab the tip of it into the paint, and don't press too hard on your paintbrush and you'll get a great clean line. And one more thing, when you are changing out your paintbrushes, be sure to rinse them in between, because if you let the paint sit on your paintbrush, it's going to dry really quickly and you'll ruin your paintbrushes. Keep in mind that the round flat brushes are not good for sharp corners and angles, so when you get to places like your tail, you're going to want to grab your thin pointed brush so you can get a nice clean crisp point on your whale tail. You might notice that I keep one hand on the back of the bench. My finger is resting on the back of the bench while I'm dragging my paintbrush. That helps me keep a steady hand and it keeps it from shaking, and I can get a much straighter line when my hand is balanced like that. Just be sure that you're not going over wet paint with your finger. You'll most likely need to do 2 coats of blue because it's a dark color and you're going over a white paint. And if you do, just go back over everything pretty much in the order that you started in. Your second coat's a lot faster because you don't have to get quite so close to the edge as you did on your first coat. It's almost like when you're edging baseboards. Once my paint is dry, I'm going to take the pencil and lightly erase the graphite lines around my letters and my whale. From there, I probably will use this brush, and I'll go back and just kind of touch up a little bit, like here, so up and here. I can't wait to show you guys this when it's staged and set up. I'm really happy with it. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial and learned some new skills. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, H2O Bungalow, and visit my blog, h2obungalow.com, to download your free graphic of my whale that you can put on a sign or a whale bench like mine. And while you're there, be sure, again, to subscribe. Thanks for joining and have a great day.